how to deal with a narcissist in a relationship. I know there is so much information out there about how to deal with narcissists, and I assume that you are an empath or a highly sensitive person or someone who tend to be in relationship with narcissists. And thank you so much for being here. This is a very different video to probably anything else that you're gonna see. And before I'm gonna start sharing with you how to deal with this situation, I want to just point out that there is just so much information out there about narcissism, and the more we actually looking into the watching those videos, we start reading those books, actually the more angry we feel, because essentially you are playing a role in this dynamic, and your role is to be that empath, the sensitive person, and their role is to be that narcissist. And when you look at it from that perspective, you really see that this is a perfectly symmetrical dynamic. That means that they go hand in hand together. You cannot separate them. They are not two separate beings. You're not separate from your partner or from your relationship. It's just two roles. It's like two sides of a coin. It's just one coin really just appears as this side or that side. And so when the coin is moving, both sides are moving at the same time, like exactly symmetrically. And it's just so why I'm saying this is, the more you're focusing on them and finding out about them and how, oh my God, how many trauma they've been through, and all these signs of narcissists, and like you are actually claiming yourself to be even more disempowered, because you claim yourself to be more stuck in your role, which is being the opposite of narcissism. It's the empath, it's the insecure, sensitive person, the helpless one. And so it's such an interesting dynamic, and really look at it almost as if this dynamic, if you allow yourself to really suspend those beliefs about separation, and really try to imagine, look at it, that what if really was true that you are connected. And I don't mean like connected as if there's two of you and there is a string in between of you. I mean, there is really no separation, just like that coin that I talked about. And so whatever you do will affect them, and whatever they do affect you, and it's just a dynamic. And so I know how painful it is to be with someone. It's like one of the most painful dynamics there are. And the more we're trying to fix them and change them and find out more, and the more we feel, oh my God, this is so bad. I can't believe I'm with a narcissist. And I know people who've been in that relationship for so many years, or even they are out already, but they can't help but watching the videos and reading the books about it, and just getting, and the anger never stops. They just feel angry. And so who you are, essentially someone who is angry. And so today, what I want to share with you is very different. It's basically just shows that your life, what you're experiencing, is just a story, and you are the character. And each story has, the good guy and the bad guy. So in this particular relationship, you're the good guy, even though in non-duality there is no such a thing as good and bad. It's a story. There is never a neutral position. And the truth is always outside of it. Nothing is good or bad about it. It's a story, and every story is just for enjoyment. It creates this dynamic that's really fun to watch if you're not personally involved and attached to that story. If you were reading this story as something that happened, like in a book, and you were reading about these two people, then you would be probably entertained. You'd be just like, wow, that's just like, like you would have certain emotions. But because you're not attached to being one of them, not taking it personally, then you would actually really enjoy that story. Because what happens in every story, each story happens to the main hero, which is you. You are always the hero in that story. And you go through you go on a journey, and you have these bad guys, and you have these challenges, and all of that is there only for you, to provide you with this testing ground for your own inner transformation. It all happens for you. And so the more you are focused on them, you're really not getting it. You think that you are separated and there is something you can do or something you can change, or you can change them, or you can improve yourself, you can improve them or whatever. But really it's not about doing anything. It's just about noticing that it is a story, and as such it has all the aspects of a story, and who you are in that story is what you settle for. I'm going to say it again. Who you are is what you settle for. So just notice what it really is that you are settling for in your life. And once you start noticing and really focusing, having that attention and the noticing on yourself, completely forget about them. Like, forget about the other guy, because it just doesn't matter. And put all your attention towards you. And once you start noticing what you're settling for in your life, you're settling for this, and you deserve more, and you're settling for this, and you know that you deserve more. And once you start seeing that, it will become very clear to you why you are in a relationship with the other person, because they are perfectly reflecting to you that dynamic. They are perfectly reflecting to you. They are just showing you like, hey, hello, this is what you're still settling for. So I'm gonna be in your life because it's just a dynamic. And as long as you'll be settling for those things, meaning this is who you are, then you will be in that kind of relationships. Once you become someone else, once you go through that inner transformation, and it will happen sooner or later, once you go through that inner transformation, you will simply become someone else. You will become someone who will not settle for certain things. You will have different standards. And so that woman or that man will not settle to be in relationship with that kind of dynamic. And so is there anything you can do? As I said before, the worst thing to do really is trying to fix them and trying to just be focused on them and reading about all the trauma and the reason why we're looking at these videos and reading the books about them, about narcissists, is because we want to understand them. And the reason why we want to understand them is because we want to control them. So it's all about them. So just forget about them. Put all the energy, all the thoughts that are there available into you, and just really look. And don't just look and dismiss. It would be hard, but really give it some attention and really look. What are all those things that you are settling for? Because those are all the things that define who you are right now. So I hope that this video was somehow helpful, and I would love to know what you think. Put your comments down there, and I will speak to you. I will see you in my next video.